नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिने नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So, taking the permission from the Vaishnavas and thanking all the devotees for giving me the opportunity to share the message of Lord Krishna with all of you. So thank you so much. Today's our verse is 2.22. I think I will need the internet also. We have the internet here, right? I'll send the verse over here. वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि। Everybody please try. Please sing the verse. Okay. So please chant. I would like as many as of you can chant. It's good for you, good for me. So Vasansi, garments, jirnani, old and worn out, yatha, just as, vihai, giving up, navani, new garments, grahanati, does accept, nara, a man, aparani, others, tatha in the same way, sharirani, bodies, vihai, giving up, jirnani, old and useless, anyani, difference, samyati, verily accepts, navani, new sets, dehi, the embodied one. Translation: as a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Purport by Shil Prabhupada ki Jai. Change of body by the atomic individual soul is an accepted fact. Even the modern scientists who do not believe in the existence of the soul, but at the same time cannot explain the source of energy from the heart, have to accept continuous changes of body which appear from childhood to boyhood, and from boyhood to youth, and again from youth to old age. From old age, the change is transferred to another body. This has been explained in a previous verse. So, who will say this verse? This is one of the very okay. So all the everybody will get only one chance. So Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara तथा देहांतर प्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र namuyate. Transference of the atomic individual soul to another body is made possible by the grace of the super soul. The super soul fulfills the desire of the atomic soul as one friend fulfills the desire of another. The Vedas, like the Mundaka Upanishad as well as the Shvetashvatra Upanishad, compare the soul and the super soul to two friendly birds sitting on the same tree. One of the birds, the individual atomic soul, is eating the fruit of the tree, and the other bird, Krishna, is simply watching his friend. Of these two birds, although they are the same in quality, one is captivated by the fruits of the material tree, while the other is simply witnessing the activities of his friend. Krishna is the witnessing bird and Arjuna is the eating bird. Although they are friends, one is still the master and the other is the servant. Forgetfulness of this relationship by the atomic soul is the cause of one's changing his position from one tree to another or from one body to another. The Jiva soul is struggling very hard on the tree of the material body, but as soon as he agrees to accept the other bird as the supreme spiritual master, as Arjuna agreed to do by voluntarily surrender to Krishna for instruction, the subordinate bird immediately becomes free from all lamentations. Both the Mundaka Upanishad 3.12 and Shvetashvatra Upanishad 4.7 confirm this. Samane vrukshe purusho nimagno ishaya sochati moyamana justam yada pashyati anyamisham asya mahimanam iti veta shoka. Samane vrukshe purusho nimagno nishaya sochati moyamana justam yadapa shatyanyamisham asya mahimanam iti vita shoka. Although the two birds are in the same tree, the eating bird is fully engrossed with anxiety and moroseness as the enjoyer of the fruits of the tree. But if in some way or other he turns his face to his friend the Lord and Krishna, Lord, and knows his glories, at once the suffering bird becomes free from all anxieties. Arjuna has now turned his face towards his eternal friend, Krishna, and is understanding the Bhagavad-Gita from him. And thus hearing from Krishna, he can understand the supreme glories of the Lord and be free from lamentation. Arjuna is advised herewith by the Lord not to lament for the bodily change of his old grandfather and his teacher. He should rather be happy to kill their bodies in the righteous fights so that they may be cleansed at once of all reactions from various bodily activities. One who lays down his life on the sacrificial altar or in the proper battlefield is at once cleansed of bodily reactions and promoted to a higher status of life. So there was no cause for Arjuna's lamentation. So, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai. So, this is the one of the I would say very remarkable feature of Shri Prabhupada's purport. If you have noticed this or not, like Shri Prabhupada is connecting with the verse all the way at the end, right? How does this verse comes in the dialogue, right? If we go back to the chapter number 2, right, the previous verses, Krishna is explaining Arjuna about the indestructibility, imperishability of the nature of the soul, right? Right, starting from if we look at from here, all along Krishna is explaining that, we are all eternal beings. The soul is kind of passing through the bodies throughout the life, and at the end of life goes to another body. And he's saying that the material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, eternal living entities come to an end. And then he thinks that's why neither he who thinks the living entity, the slayer, or nor he who thinks is slain in knowledge. And says that for the soul there is no birth, death, he has not come into being and does not come into being and will not come into being, and he is unborn, eternal, ever existing and primeval, And that's why, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, immutable, kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? So then, Arjuna could have literally have the question that yes, you are saying that the soul has all this property, but still the body dies, isn't it? Right? So, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that no matter what you do, the body is going to die. All these people, there is no way. It's like a used cloth. How long you gonna use? Rather, we always want to have the new clothes, right? If you look at everybody's wardrobe, how many different dresses we have, right? Your mothers or wives or whatever, fathers don't complain usually, but they always see, what is this? When you gonna organize this? When you gonna use them? Better use them, or I'm gonna make it garbage. So so whatever. But like we are always happy to have the new cloth. But is it so simple, right? Is this who I identify with is just like a used garment, But Krishna is telling Arjuna, that's what this is the right in sequence is that coming, and then this was we were always asked to we were always say that how did this verse come up over here? What's the connection? What's the connection with the last verse, and how is it connected with the next verse? So that's where Krishna is saying that no matter you are worrying about the killing of your loved ones, that's what your worry is. No matter what you do, you can't stop this. You can't stop this. And still Prabhupada is saying that all the way at the end. Right? Arjuna is advised here by the Lord not to lament for the bodily changes. Throughout the entire purport, Srila Prabhupada, is so, intelligently, so, I would say, so thoughtfully, and so much, if I happen to read only this verse, if I happen to only read this verse, he has given actually everything. Everywhere. That's what his effort is. So let's focus first that this verse is actually in terms of the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. That Lord is trying to say that you are worried about your loved one's death. But is there a way can you stop them? If you don't go for a fight, do you think they would not die? There is no such thing as that. They would die. He should rather be happy to kill their bodies in the righteous fight. Now, how many of you thought that this is too much? This is too much. Come on. Why would you want to kill your loved one? But then this says that, if we take it from the Krishna's point of view, he's saying that they have done so much nonsense in this life, right? All these people, it's not just an incident happened that you went into a fight, like some argument and then you lost your temper. No, this is a years of torture, years of nonsense. If they die like as it is, they will have to suffer. They will have to suffer. Why do you want, like if they die in their home, lying in some illness or whatnot, they will have to pay for this nonsense. On the other hand, he says that samyati, and I think I believe Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur or Baldev Vidyabhushan, I think maybe both of them. He says that they would be transferred to the heavenly abode without going through a birth process. They may not have to take birth again. If they will be killed in a battlefield for a religious battle, they would be automatically transferred. So, rather than going through taking another birth and another on all those things, you are actually doing them a favor. So this sentence when we read it for first time, it is so much kind of we think, wow, is this true? But it is in a way. And then somebody can say, oh, in that manner, then people can justify any killing. Then say, no. Don't you ever think so? This applies to only for a sacrificial altar or for a proper battlefield. Not for every fight, not for every reason to kill, not for any slaughterhouse killing. that you chant some mantra and then you say swaha. No, that's it doesn't apply to this. It actually bounds both of them. So it is. This was the connection. This is the connection, right? That how we, whatever we want, but this body is going to be useless at some point, like a used garment. So you shouldn't be so attached to it. No matter what you do, it is going to. Rather, you should be worried. That why I'm getting these garments. Do I have any choice on getting these garments? How can I get out of this situation where I'm getting another garment? And that's where Srila Prabhupada has started the purport. And he's saying that why do we change the body? Who makes it happen? Who actually makes this possible? Is made possible by the grace of the Super Soul. Okay, so who would explain me that now? See, this is my kind of I tried as much as I could, but then I need some help now. He says that transference of the atomic individual soul to another body is made possible by the grace of the Super Soul. The Super Soul fulfills the desire of the atomic soul as one friend, and Srila Prabhupada gave the whole example, and he actually quoted the two other scriptures, Mundaka Upanishad and Shvetashvatara Upanishad, that how the analogy of two birds sitting side by side, one bird is busy eating the fruits of the tree, another bird is watching, and the moment we actually the bird which is trying to enjoy the fruits gets frustrated and looks towards the other bird, the key for the liberation opens. Radha Shyam Sundar ki Shri Gaur Nitai. What is their name, Madaji? Nitai Sachinandan ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So this is let's discuss about this something briefly. I have some questions. So so I said already the connection of this verse, right? Where is this body is perishable by all means, and how did that come into this verse come into the play? So who does this? Srila Prabhupada has said Super Soul. But do you have any other opinion? Why the body goes through what body goes through? Is our body itself responsible? Is it the soul responsible? Is it Super Soul responsible? Is it material nature? All of the above and none of the above. Right? So I would like some youngsters to give me the answer. Why do we keep changing the body? And see, in other words, if you answer your youngsters, see, I have to always make it attractive, so at least I get some answer, right? So, Srila Prabhupada has said in the purport that Super Soul, by the grace of Super Soul, it happens. But actually, who is responsible for changing this? So, before we go for that one, let's see what is the body made up of, right? What does this body is made up of? We have a gross body and we have a subtle body. What do we mean by gross body? Right? Bhumi Rapo Analo Vayu Kham Mano Buddhi Revacha. Actually, that's include the both gross body as well as the subtle body. That is the Bhagavad-Gita 7.4 and 7.5. And Krishna says in the next verse, so this material nature of mind consists of 8 ingredients, right? Earth, water, air, fire, ether, and then Manu, Buddhi and Ahankar. So that's what we are made up of, right? That's who we are made up of. Earth, water, air, fire, ether. That's our gross body. And within our gross body, we have the subtle body. which is the mind, intelligence, and false ego. And what is that false ego? What is the false ego? Okay, one person has only one chance. So you have already
exhausted.
Yes, in the very early in the innings, you have used your opportunity. So, okay, so please, either who would answer me that now? Yes, one of the Mataji say, what is the false ego? What is the? Yes, Mataji.
Like thinking that I am the doer or I am doing something.
Very close, and that's also false ego. But there is a one more step ahead to it. When I think who I am, when I don't know who I am, and I think I am this body, the false ego starts with that. But you are right. Even when we think that I am doer, I am not doer. That's also a false understanding. But the root cause of all understanding is that I start thinking that I am this body. That's where my problem starts, and all of yours also. It's just not my problem. So don't think, okay, it's your problem. You discuss it, and we're gonna take nice break. No, that's not going to happen. It's all of our problem. Some of us here come just to enlighten everybody else. So I hope there are so many of them are over here. But of course, thank you. So that is where our problem starts. That we think I am this body. And when I think I am this body, I means the soul within this body. Krishna already explained that in the very beginning, right? Because the soul thinks I am this body, that's why I go through these changes one after the other body, and I keep taking the bodies over and over again. So what's the role of super soul over here? The super soul is the facilitator. It simply facilitates the process, right? Super soul, in the Bhagavad-Gita, we have these many places. We have so you guys are going to tell me each of the verse. So that's why I just put the verse over here. So what is this verse? 1861. Okay. Ishvara sarvabhutanam iddeshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. What is that? Would you guys will sing all of you together? Ishvara sarvabhutanam iddeshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani Tarudhani Mayaya. So, what is the meaning of that? Super soul, Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart. Oh Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made up of the material energy. So that's it. Still, Super soul is responsible, right? He is making us, he is directing the wanderings of all living entities. Do you guys all agree with me? Whatever we go through, the super soul is responsible, right?
No.
So I told him not to say, but then he's going to say all throughout. He already lost his opportunity, but okay, then would you please explain why super soul is not responsible? Let's read the next verse. Then this probably will convince you that yes, he is not responsible, he actually remembers, and he actually makes us do it again and again. Okay? Sarvasya chaham radisannivishto matta smritirigna namapohanam cha vedesya sarve rahmeva vedyo vedanta krutaved videva chaham. Very nice. See, this time I forgot, because I knew that most of you know this verse. That's why I didn't ask, So, what is this? I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. So reading the last two verses, anyone will like to think that is the super soul is doing that, right? He makes us move like a toy key, right? Yantra Rudhani Maya. When you give the key, a toy with the key, you just turn it on and the toy would start. Obviously, the person who is giving that command. And then not only that, he gives us the remembrance, knowledge, and forgetful. He's situated right in our heart, making sure we do exactly what he wants to do, what he wants us to do that. So obviously, he is the one responsible for us taking one after the other bodies. Any doubt now? The riddle is solved, right? No. Okay. So you guys are smart. So let's see. Read the next verse. See, there are actually 3 more verses. You guys have to find out. There are 3 more verses in Bhagavad-Gita about super soul. I just happened to, write down only 3. So that's why I wrote 3. But there are 3 other verses. But let's see what is this 13:23. Here it comes the kind of again I forget to ask, but you guys know this verse. Upadrashtanumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwara paramatmeti chapyukto dehesmin purusha para. So Krishna says here, wait here, yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul. So he just sanctions it. He doesn't really desire for you. He doesn't really do it for you. No, you have the desire and he sanctions it according to our past karma. So all of us react in a unique way, and hopefully all of us would be reacting the same way. I hope and pray for that. But in general, something is happening, we do according to our individual inclination, right? Something is happening, we do according to our individual inclination. That inclination comes from our sanskaras, the imprints, the time immemorial. We have so many imprints in our heart. We have so many aspirations, we have so many lamentations, hankerings, we have done so many things, and we have to pay. We have to get this. It's in your account, it's in your balance book. Krishna simply gives us that according to what we deserve. He's not happy to do it. It's not his choice. If it's his choice, we would not be here, and he would not have to come over here. It's like a loving friend, a loving parent. And if somebody, you have to let it do. When you try to convince people that this is not a good idea, but this is no, I want to do it, what can you do? So Krishna lets it happen, but it's ultimately our choice. It's my choice. That's why I'm here, and because of my choice, I'm getting the body after body. Because of my choice, and this continues because I always think I am this body. I am this body. So this continues life immemorial. Time immemorial, life after life. Millions and billions is a small number. When you say anadi, it has no beginning. I have been so used to identify myself with this body. It's practically impossible. It is impossible practically for me to think that I'm not this body. And because I'm thinking all my life and I act like that day in and day out, I get another body when I'm living this body. So that is the something. We know this is all these things are involved, but it's basically the soul. We don't know when, but I made that wrong choice. I desired, I want to be this enjoyer. I want to enjoy like Krishna without Krishna. That's why this material world is created, right? There is no such thing as that Krishna is not somewhere. That's why it's called illusion, right? There is no such there is no such thing, because even this material world is also his creation. So Krishna has to purposefully hide himself over here for us to believe that we can enjoy on our own. So that's the root cause, and that's why we are here, and we continue this perpetually, and we get another body and get another body and get another body. So let me see now what is next, before I forget. Okay, so then I'm seeing that I am a soul and I'm not this body. Then what's my permanent form? When we read this verse, and there are two other verses also, right? When we hear the Dehino Yasmin Yatha Dehe verse, then we say, okay, at the leaving this body, we go to another body. Do I have a choice? Right? Obvious, we can say that Kaumaram Yauvanam Jara, probably we don't have any control. We can slow it down, or we can make it faster. Whichever way, whatever way our lifestyle could be, we could make it faster. But do I have a choice to get another birth? Tatha Dehantara Prapte. At the end of a line, I'll get another body. Do I have a choice? Here also, Krishna says that when like this old cloth gets torn out, worn out, I get a new sets of clothes. Do I have a choice? Right? But then, why? Then if I have a choice, I should know who am I, or what is actually my permanent form. What is my, now, please tell me, what is this verse? Because I didn't pull it out here, so I also can sing. So please help me. Who is going to help me? See, we have the internet, so finally we'll pull it out, but if you guys can help me, it would be very helpful. Okay. Very good. See, they are using technology. I like that. Smart. Very good. Okay. So, Mame Vansho. Okay. Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, Manasastani Indriyani, Prakrutistani Karshati. So Krishna says that this living entity is my eternal fragmental part. Mame Vansho, Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana is an eternal fragmental part of mine. And why does he in this, if it's my part, then why not with me? Because he's trying with the senses, six senses and mind eternally. Prakriti Sthani Karshni. He's struggling with the senses and mind with this material energy to exploit the material energy. Right? So, am I a drop of light? What do you can? Not drop of light. I'm a very small, minute particle, right? This is the description of the soul. Is 1/10,000 part of a hair. On one hand, yes, Prabhu? Tip of the hair. So, hair would be obviously longer, and that's where my question was coming. But at some point, Krishna said, Aprameya, Anashino, it's Aprameya. Then how did the measurement came? Now you must help me with this one. Krishna says that is immeasurable, but then the Smritis, they give the exact dimension. 1/10,000 tip of the hair. Right? Not a hair. If it's a hair, if a yogi's hair, then you could really see the soul. Right? But if it is the tip of the hair, you can't really divide that 1/10,000. It's practically, that's not possible. It's a kind of a analogical form. It's an analogical form. So it is immeasurable. Who would measure the 1/10,000 tip of a hair? So both the things are true, even though it is contradictory. It's aprameya. Aprameya means you can't measure it, and then there is an exact measurement is given. But 1/10,000 tip of a hair is practically not measurable. So that is, I really need the answer over here. Is that all we are? A dot of a light? Very good. Finally, I get the answer from my first batch. I'm so proud of you guys. So tell me, if that's not the truth, then who are you? And of course, me also. If we are not that point, this is the whole room is full of the light. If I'm just a dot of a light, so if no, I'm not that dot of a light, then who am I?
Eternal servant of Krishna and the spiritual.
Yes, very nice. Yes. See, this is so nice. This is the beauty of when you give the class among Vaishnavas. When you don't know, they can help you. Thank you. So, very.
What is the answer?
Jivera Swarupera Hoy, Nitya Krishna dance. No, we are not just, it is a compromise expression of our eternal form. I'm just not a point, very minute point of a light. No, I'm not like that. I am actually a person, a complete perfect person, a perfect person with the perfect senses. I'm not just a spot of a light. I'm a perfect person, but somehow I misuse my independence. I misuse my free will, and that's why this is how I am expressed in this material world, right? So obviously we want to see how and why does the soul identify with material body, right? I mean, this is a kind of a topic matter. We somehow covered it, but in the Srimad Bhagavatam we have something called Bhagavad-Gita, right? The Lord's very dear companion, his cousin, his friend, he's always with him. Is even more dear like than even Arjuna also. It is so much like they are practically inseparable. When Lord Krishna was in Mathura, he sent Uddhava to Vrindavan. So the gopis could see, they can get the solace by seeing him. He looks like Krishna. He does everything like Krishna. And he has so much kind of how when Krishna is about to depart and depart this world, and he has so much questions, and he is so much, feeling that, oh, you are with us all the time and I never took the advantage. Please give me some knowledge and something. So it's a whole 11th canto is so much deep with the philosophy. So I'll just briefly read that how the soul, how does the soul lives in this body. See, when we are waking, sleeping and deep sleep are the three functions of the intelligence and are caused by the modes of material nature. The living entity within the body is ascertained to possess characters different from these three states and thus remains the witness to them. But we never think like that. When we are waking, when I'm awake, my whole body is functioning. I'm fully engaged. All my senses, mind and intelligence. When I'm sleeping, my senses are residing in my mind, but my mind is still active, right? And in the deep sleep, even my mind also sleeps, but my intelligence is still active. But I am actually separate from all of those things. Why? Because while I'm sleeping, I could be watching so many dreams, right? I could think, oh, I had 1,000 likes of this lecture. I could have that dream, right? Then the people say you must be sleeping, right? You must be thinking like that. But this is in the sleep. I can think anything like that. So, but in the deep sleep, my intelligence is still active. How? Because when I'm sleeping, in a deep sleep, mind also becomes subsided. Initial part, the first part of the sleep, the senses goes into the mind. So mind is doing all those different things that you wanted to get those likes, and it happened, right? But in the deep sleep, even mind also becomes, but intelligence is still alert. When you wake up, you realize, oh, thank goodness, it was a dream. It's not real. You are immediately able to connect. You are able to remember the time before before you went to sleep. Memory is a function of the intelligence. So you remember and collect and no, I'm still here. My wife is here and everybody is here. Thank goodness. or oh my goodness, whatever. We can say anything, but that's the kind of a function of so intelligence is still there, but I am separate from there. Whatever happened to me in sleep or whatever happened to me in deep sleep, I am separate from there. Same thing, the living entity, life after life, goes through so many. Actually, there is no change in whatsoever in the soul. We are exactly like the Lord. When the Lord says, Ajopi sanna vyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san. He is also inborn. He also doesn't. But then only thing is that we come under the control of His external energy. We want to enjoy separately. That's why we experience this for so many lifetimes. It's basically living here is like going from one dream to another dream. Nothing more than that. We go constantly, one dream. I didn't do this and I done this. Okay, you get this. Let's see. Next life you started this, and that's series of dreams that millions and millions of dreams. When we wake up, we think, wow, it was a dream. Wow, what a sleep. I am now awake. That's what it happens when we go back to the spiritual world, back to service to Krishna. This is what it happens to us. The idea is that how to get out of this dream, how to get out of this dream-like situation that I am going through life after life. So, we already discussed this. Who decides what kind of a dress I will have? It's my choice. Who would like to identify by dress? Like who would like we do not. If somebody knows you by the dress, that's not a very good thing, right? You become a patient or you become a convict, and all of a sudden people forget your identity. You become a certain number. In a hospital or in a correction house, you are given us a very specific dress. This is what our situation is. Nobody knows by us by our correct identity. So like when we are given this misidentification, actually we are in a hospital or we are in a correction facility. So as to say, we really want to connect to our original identity, and so how to get disentangled. And in the very beginning of who knows this verse 1:14 and 4.9. See, you already have exhausted so many times. He is taking the trial after trial, and he already knows that he is not supposed to answer, but he wants to well. So okay, 1:14 and 4.9 everybody knows that, right? Janma karma chame devya evam vyapeti tatvata tyaktva deham punarjanma iti mameti. So Arjuna, the moment we know that Krishna's birth and appearance is transcendental, we have no more rebirth. So all of you, right? Anybody has doubt over here? Nobody, right? Just one lecture, everybody delivered, right? Tell me if anybody has a doubt. Anybody has a doubt that Krishna's birth and appearance are transcendental? If you know this, you are already liberated people. Come on, what are you guys doing here? Right? Just go and move like Rishabdev, no? Or Bharat Maharaj or whatever, right? Shukadev Goswami. Yes, just knowing that. See, I wanted it mean by consciousness. All of those people, they were transcendentalists and they don't care about anything, right? So but once we know that Krishna's birth and appearance is transcendental, we are liberated. If we read the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying that right here in this time, is so striking. Srila Prabhupada's purport is so amazing. And then we could have so much discussion that how, why, even in this birth now, once you know it, you are liberated. Srila Prabhupada says that very, very, so, and it is so striking that, Look at this verse. In this purport, one who can understand the truth of the appearance of personality of God is already liberated from material bondage and already liberated. I didn't lie. You guys were laughing to me at that time. But I said, you are already, if you know it, you are already liberated. Now from this moment, and therefore he returns to the kingdom of God immediately after quitting this present material body. Acharyas have given so much commentary on this concept, because that's what it means. Just by knowing all the acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Baldev Vidyabhushan, every acharya has saying that simply by knowing this, we are liberated. We are liberated. And so that's what it is. There is this one other verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam also. So Harinavan Prabhu will tell us that. What is that verse, Harinavan Prabhu? Okay, let me pull it out so everybody can sing with you. Okay, very nice. So 1:14. Okay, so yeah, you can. Sukhim Goram Yannam Vivasho Yunan Tata Sadhyo Vimuscheta Yad Vibheti Swayam Vayam. So what's the meaning of this verse? Living beings who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death can be freed immediately by even unconsciously chanting the holy name of Krishna, which is feared by fear personified. Now tell me, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Even if when you do this even unconsciously, the actual Sanskrit word is that Yannama Vivasho Grunan. Vivasho Grunan means helplessly. You are saying it, you don't want to say it. You are saying it very kind of casually, ignorantly, with full of kind of offenses. Even if you say these names, and you are still, by chanting these names, by unknowingly, also we are liberated. What to speak of? Somebody sincerely trying. Who gave me this mala? Why I have to chant this 16 rounds? When somebody is counting day in and day out, right? Every morning, every evening, I'm still not done with my rounds, and everybody is watching me. Where I'm going to finish. But when you chant, when you're trying to chant with this sincerity every day, what is doubt about you? But now I tell you one thing. Liberation. What is this liberation? This is that's the ultimate goal. What do we call really liberation? Getting rid of this birth and death. Actually, when Krishna kills the demons, they also get liberated. So is that what is the ultimate goal of our life? Obviously not, right? What is your ultimate goal of life? This is our ultimate goal of life. Yes, we want to be in love with Krishna. That is the real purpose of our life. The liberation is the side product. Liberation, we naturally get liberated when we come in contact with Krishna. When we really become Krishnatized. So we have to actually develop. There is only one price for that. What is the price? What's the price for that? Harinavan Prabhu. Now I will be very happy if you can chant this verse. Okay. So now I found something. Finally, oh my goodness. Very good. So this is the verse spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy. This is actually part. Ramananda Roy, Lord is actually asking Ramananda Roy, what is the ultimate goal? Tell me, what is the ultimate goal? And Ramananda Roy is quoting all the different verses. Believe it or not, it starts with the Varnashram Dharma, Sarva Dharma, Lord is saying everything is external. Forget it. I don't want to hear it. Eho bahe, kaho age. Eho bahe, kaho age. Finally, at this verse, he says, okay, now this makes some sense. Tell me what is that verse. He's saying that, okay, if there is a prize that goes to Harinam today, right? If there is a prize for this class. Okay. Krishna bhakti rasavavita mate kriyatam yadi kuto pilapyate tatra lolyam apimulyam ekalam janma koti skrutirna labhyate. Pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness cannot be had even by pious activities in hundreds and thousands of lives. It can be attained only by paying one price, and that is intense greed to obtain it. No, please, if it is available somewhere, one must purchase it without delay. That's the only thing we need, the intense greed. Nothing happens in this world. You want to convince a boy or a girl, you have to do so much, So what to speak of the Supreme Lord, Those are those who are not married or young, shouldn't be very happy hearing this, Actually, so what to speak of convincing the Supreme Lord, and that to also convince him to give, you some attention, the personal attention, is so rare. But we have to have that intense greed to achieve that. And how do we do that? So okay, I had a couple of things in my mind at this time, and the time is running out. So we are thinking that yes, Mayapur Chandra is speaking about intense, the highest goal of my life, and here I'm struggling, and that includes Mayapur Chandra also. So don't worry, if some of you think like that, we are also all in the same boat. How do we really kind of hold on? We are in the upstream. We are going in upstream. Like this is something we don't see the things, like we don't see the results, or we don't see the where is the light. Sometime, for many years, Prabhuji mentioned that I took, then at that time I realized that, this many years happened. He's telling me, Prabhu, become serious now. Like you are giving a lecture and you coming at the last moment. Not so good. You took the initiation in 2003. How many years? 17, 18 years, right? So then I think, what's the hope for me? So Srila Brahmaji, he's actually telling us that how do we really keep hanging in this verse. And I'm sure Harinavan Prabhu knows this verse very well, right? So I will share with everybody, then we can and I have only few more verses left from few other scriptures, so don't worry, this is not many verses from, I'm only done with the
last verse will be Prasadam.
Okay, so this is the kind of Lord Brahma is actually telling us that how should we really keep hanging on in this world, So we'll read the meaning first, and then we can sing the verse. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So, all the way, wherever we are in our individual journey, we have to keep the faith in Krishna. We read so many verses just by saying one name, just by thinking that Krishna is transcendental. His name and his activities are transcendental. We are surely going to be delivered. Whatever it happens in our individual situation right now, Whatever it may look like, that there is a very nice game going on and I'm sitting over here. I'm really very proud of you guys. But some of the boys, they couldn't make it today because there was some nice game going on. And you might think that also, that okay, but in our individual life, whatever is going on, it may not be going into the kind of we may not be really very satisfied with it, or we may feel like that I'm not getting the bliss out of my chanting. I'm not able to fulfill as enthusiastically as I was doing it. What is happening? Brahmaji is saying that all along, we can see the things are going in a reverse order. We simply have to keep faith, patiently suffering the reactions of our past misdeeds, and we have to keep giving our obeisances with our heart, words and body. If we keep that kind of a faith, if we are full of patience like that, we will become our rightful claim. We will certainly get the mercy of the Lord. So at the end, we started from the why do we have to change the bodies? Changing body is not that easy like we think changing garment. When I was coming and I got a message from a friend who was coming to see us. I was seeing him practically every day, and he messaged me that my wife and son, they passed away last Sunday exactly at this time. He was about 100 miles away from where they were. They met in a head-on collision. In the town, this was their hometown. The police officers somehow knew them, so they find out and they called me. It was so much devastating, taking that phone call. And I knew these people, they coming every day in and out. It's not at all, easy. This is a very difficult situation we are all in. We see the day in and day out, loved ones leaving us. We really feel the pain, So we started from that we are not this body. It's just the body is like a cloth. We keep doing this for time immemorial. We really don't want to go through these experiences again. What the easiest way, even if we unknowingly chant Krishna's name, we can get liberated. Why will not we take it seriously? Why would we not try it at our best? So in this assembly, is there anybody? How many of you chant every day? Okay, how many of you chant every day? And please be honest, how many of you don't chant? Is there anybody in this assembly? Have you not been chanting regularly? Right? Okay. Thank you, mother. Thank you. That requires really a courage to. But I would say, if anybody else in this, one of these days, ask anybody around you. One of these days like that. I know some friends, after coming for 10 years, 12 years, finally they started chanting. Some of them, they feel that why did we take that so long? Sometimes it takes, why nobody told me this in my childhood? Prahlad Maharaj is talking about to start this at the age of 5 years. Why nobody informed me like that? So my humble request, if you haven't started this process, if you haven't taken this process, even if you don't have faith, even if you don't have taste, but you definitely have some faith. That's why you are here. On the strength of that slight faith, please start this process. Please start this process. On that you would get the taste depending upon your sincerity. How much sincerely you are trying to adopt this process, you would have that help. So the conclusion is that yes, the Hare Naam eva kevalam. That is so easy, so simple, and at the same time so sublime. So I mean, we don't have any. I have already asked many questions, and we don't have any time. But if there's one comment or one question, we can let it pass through. You know, yes, no, Prabhu, you already asked in the very beginning. So you are ruled out. The game stays up till the end. The person who says one time, okay. Yes, Madaji.
Excellent class. Probably my question is 4.9, right? We know it, we are already liberated. What is the incentive to keep on chanting?
Yes. So, Madaji can sit there so everybody can hear the question.
Dandat Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. My question is about 4.9. That if we know about the truth about Krishna's transcendental appearance and activities, we are liberated. Then what is the incentive to keep on chanting or to take austerities for Krishna?
Thank you. And this is called, when we have done the setup, even though it was late, our setup didn't fail, Our own people asked thank you, Mataji. So, as we said that, so that verse tells us that chanting one name of Krishna definitely liberates us, but our goal is to please Krishna. When we come to know that the essence of life is that to work for the pleasure of Krishna. And what do we mean by pleasing Krishna? Actually, pleasing Krishna means serving the devotee and pleasing the spiritual master, right? That verse, Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandanam. What is that ekeha kuru nandanam? How could I please my Lord and my master, my spiritual master? That's the one. So when we come to know about the real essence of Krishna, so that's the one. Even Lord himself takes the utmost pleasure in serving his own devotee. When he comes in the form of his own devotee, or even when he is the Supreme Lord, he actually takes the highest bliss in serving his devotees. So when we know it, the more we know it, actually more we want to do it. And more we do it, Krishna reciprocates more. So it's a never-ending cycle. That's just the beginning point. That's from where, when we know that, all what is the liberation actually means to me. Actually, my Lord wants I could stay anywhere, right? Bhakti Vinod Thakur said that I could be the worm in the house of a devotee, but I don't want to be the Bahirmukh Brahma. So that is when we come to know that yes, we want to serve by all our heart. We want to serve Krishna, and to serve Krishna, we want to beg him sincerely, day in and day out. My dear Lord, how can I serve you? That's where our begging comes from, the chanting. Chanting is the sincere call from our heart that my dear Lord, please engage me in serving my spiritual master, your servant, your faithful servant. And that's where we keep chanting more and more. The Lord keeps giving us more service, and we keep chanting more and more. Right? Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Actually, that was the question of the day. Thank you. The quote of the day also. Thank you. Hare Krishna.